We begin with this Fox News alert. Inside the Trump White House, cheering for what they're calling another win in their fight to shrink government spending. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. A judge has paused the deadline for hundreds of thousands of federal workers to accept Trump's buyout. They now have until Monday to take 8 months of pay and benefits in exchange for their resignations. The White House is thrilled with the results so far.
More than 40,000 and counting federal workers have agreed to this buyout program, and they are looking forward, I guess, to having their 8-month paid vacation. The president made a commitment that he was going to encourage the federal workforce to return to the office. We know only 6% of federal workers are working in the office right now. That's unacceptable, and that's why the buyout program was offered.
President Trump is also reportedly looking to make major cuts to USAID. That's the agency which historically has focused on foreign development projects. One former employee told Fox News about the agency's mission under former President Biden.
I encountered DEI my very first day on the job. Samantha Power's emphasis on DEI was part of a larger Biden administration effort to infuse DEI into every federal agency. And we saw this. You have people taking time off from their jobs to attend these indoctrination sessions, and clearly pushing the message that people are divided into oppressor groups. Particularly disturbing that not only were they pushing within the organization, they're actually funding DEI events all over the world.
Top-rated podcaster Joe Rogan is celebrating the decision to cut programs like this.
What's fascinating right now is we're getting a chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole U.S. aid thing, people are freaking out. The same people that say we need radical change.
Right.
We need radical change. We've got corruption. We need radical change. Okay, well, here's your radical change. We can't just be spending all our tax money on nonsense.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy, you want radical change, it's afoot. Peter.
Yeah, and Harris, everybody here at the Trump White House knows the Democrats are really upset about Elon Musk's effort to trim down federal spending, but it has not affected his standing here one bit.
The president is 100% serious about deficit reduction. It's one reason why Elon is on the team. And we've been overwhelmed with the positive response of Elon's efforts. Elon is the hardest working guy I've ever seen.
Harrison Fields, the principal deputy press secretary at the White House, tells Fox the Democrats have no plan on how to recover from their embarrassing loss, and it shows. Instead of working to become a party that focuses on the will of the people, they are hell-bent on keeping their heads in the sand and gaslighting on the widely supported mission of DOGE, slashing waste, fraud, and abuse, and becoming better stewards of the American taxpayers' hard-earned dollars might be a crime to Democrats, but it's not a crime in a court of law. The plan is to cut the 10,000-person USAID workforce down to 294 people. The president is also looking outside of government at all NGOs that get federal money. It is all being reviewed under a new executive order. There's not much Democrats can do, but there sure is more that they want to do.
Congress has to stand up and fight, but we're going to need people across this country to stand up and fight, to not agonize, but organize against these people.
We expect to hear from President Trump about 2.5 hours from right now. He is hosting the Japanese Prime Minister today, and they are going to have a press conference. Harris?
Well, Peter, thank you. You were just talking about Democrats' reaction to President Trump as he barrels forward with his agenda. It is difficult for some people to believe it's only been 19 days since the inauguration. So far, 55 executive orders and actions that are showing real and immediate results. Democrats are offering no actual alternatives, but they have plenty of complaining and threats and all the rest to do.
Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby, a godless, lawless billionaire.
Hey, ho, ho. Elon Musk has got to go.
We will not shut up. We will stand up. We will speak up. Who the does Musk think he is?
We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your.
We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. 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 We will win.
Oh, my goodness. Critics are mocking Senator Schumer there for that performance, including former Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan. Remember, he ran against Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House a few years back, and she, blocked him. Anyway, Tim Ryan has a lot to say. I just don't even know what to say anymore when I see this kind of stuff, he says. Is this Saturday Night Live or real life? Does anyone really think this is the future of the country? This is the only alternative to Trump's America? It's just so depressing. And those are the elected officials. So you wonder what Democrat voters are thinking. One headline sums it up this way: Musk provokes battle among Democrats over how to fight back. Another piece highlights the left's hypocrisy on Elon Musk. Soros-funded Dems suddenly upset by billionaires in government? Oh, that's a good one. Senate Democrats are spinning their wheels, delaying cabinet confirmations because they think they can stop Trump. So far, the president is batting 1,000, with more nominees still working through the process. Former CNN anchor and longtime Trump antagonist Jim Acosta is asking when Democrats will get their act together.
They don't have the numbers. They can't stop people from getting confirmed, theoretically speaking. But what do Democrats, what can they do at this point? They're sort of in this situation, this position of maximum powerlessness.
Power panel now, Emily Domenech, former senior policy advisor to Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Political Climate podcast co-host, and Morgan Harper, former Democratic Ohio Senate candidate. Great to see you both. Emily, I'm going to start with you. Donald Trump will soon pick up the reins, and I can see it happening. He did it when he was here in New York, stuck at the courthouse with the lawfare after him. He went over to Harlem to talk to particularly black voters. And some of them eventually, as we know, ended up voting for him. If Democrats ignore their own voters, he will go for them.
I think you're absolutely right. Imagine watching your elected officials yelling on TV about what most Americans see as basic accountability being asked for from federal agencies. I've worked in 2 federal agencies in the executive branch, and anyone you talk to, Republicans or Democrats, agree that the bureaucracy, frankly, has too much power and is too difficult to change. And I think it's very refreshing to most Americans to see someone come into the White House, do what they said they were going to do, and actually take some steps to reform this overburdensome process that we see in our federal government. And if Democrats were smart, they would be looking for opportunities to work with Elon Musk and other Trump officials to find common ground in areas of energy or permitting reform or things where they can move policies forward that the American people care about.
All right, let's get to this. And then, Morgan, I'll come to you. We have seen protest after protest in our nation's capital, many on the left, beefing up with pretty much everything the government has done or is looking to do. They are angry. They are using profanity. Shrink the federal government force, cut wasteful spending, tap Elon Musk to lead the effort, reform the education department, protect women in sports, deporting violent illegal immigrants. You name it, that's on his list. And Democrats and liberals, left-leaning Washington Post with this headline: as Washington reels from Trump's first actions, his voters like what they see. An excerpt: despite the chaos Trump's early actions have caused in Washington, there was a collective shrug among his supporters in Northeast Pennsylvania. Several argued that no damage had been done by orders to freeze spending. Most were in favor of his efforts to scale back the federal workforce, to stand by controversial cabinet nominees, and to slash foreign aid. I want to go now straight to Morgan to get your response to some of this, because, again, you've got to talk to those voters. And right now, Democrats at the top of your leadership are screaming at Donald Trump and each other.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree that there are a lot of Americans who support an agenda to try to make the federal government more efficient. What is happening, though, doesn't seem to be taking a business-minded approach to doing that as efficiently as possible. If we were, or if the administration were, then they would be going after something like the Department of Defense $800 billion budget, half of which is going to defense contractors, versus USAID's $40 billion budget that clearly is very, very small in comparison. I think the other big concern here that is rightly being pointed out by Democrats, to give some credit to some folks in my party, is, though Elon Musk was charged with addressing these things, it's not clear that you need to be breaking laws in order to make the government more efficient.
Now that's an interesting debate point, because all I've seen for the last 4 years are Democrats breaking laws to show that some of you have a bigger heart than those on the right. Oh, let the illegals stay. Oh, governors even saying if you try to come get people against ICE and the federal government, you'll have to go through them. That defiance, all of that is law breaking. It's like that's the new flex. Look, let's move to this, and I'm going to ask my team to put that back up because I do want to get there. Here's what Democratic Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania said when he was asked how the Democratic Party can win back white men in particular who went overwhelmingly for Trump a few months ago.
I don't know, and truthfully, I'm not sure if that's possible, to be honest. I think that's been seriously eroding for a while. They just feel like, the other side seems like it's like men, that men's the problem, men are to blame, or their masculinity is toxic, or unless you're able to conform to our very strict kinds of definition of what we think's appropriate, well then, hey, I'm going to find an alternative.
Morgan, what's your reaction to that?
Well, a little confused because let's be real here. There are Democrats that outperformed both our presidential candidate this last election and Donald Trump, that won in Trump districts. And so this idea that we have absolutely no idea what to do or how to appeal to a broad set of Americans is ridiculous. Maybe John Fetterman doesn't have ideas on that. I don't know. But plenty of people in our party are doing that. But look, again, we do need to be honest about the fact that what we were putting out there last time did not work. And we need to be pivoting. But there are, for example, we saw from a federal trade commissioner this week ideas on addressing the cost of living for Americans, on housing, on eggs, on sports gambling that is becoming out of control. All of these things are concrete and things that I hear from folks in Ohio that they want government to be addressing. And that's where we have to pivot. Just calling how Elon Musk is out of control here, or you don't like Donald Trump, is not going to be enough to rebuild the brand of the Democratic Party nationally.
Well, and you make some good points there. And those ideas for easing pricing and all of that, they were just needed before Election Day because people aren't changing what they're saying on the left or the right. That's what they were saying then. Some people, though, are just hearing from a president who also hears them. Last quick word, Emily.
I think you're absolutely right. The American people see Donald Trump responding to their problems and taking quick, decisive action on the things he said in the campaign trail. And it's going to be hard for Democrats to beat that without a new agenda.
Great to see you both. And Morgan, welcome to the program. Emily, always good to have you.